Greetings viewers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about Subaru identification tags. If you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, it's a little tin plate, well, used to be a tin plate, now it's actually a sticker that is located on basically every Subaru vehicle over the last 4 decades that tells you valuable information about your Subaru vehicle. We're going to go in just a second and start looking at some of these vehicle identification tags, looking at the information they provide, and showing you where you can find them on your particular Subaru model. So starting off, we've got a 2003 Subaru Outback, and we're going to look at the vehicle identification tag on it. All right guys, so this is the vehicle identification tag I was talking about. You can find them basically on every Subaru car over at least the last 4 decades, as I said. And from the late 80s on through to about 2009, they were located right here. This is the left front strut tower, driver side, US market, passenger side, everywhere else. Lots of good information here for you as a Subaru owner anytime you need to order parts, anytime you need to replace an engine, find a replacement engine or replacement transmission, if you have body damage and need touch-up paint or to have the car painted, your paint codes are located here. Just all the vital information for the car is right here. First line starting off, we've got the VIN number. VIN number is also over here at the dashboard windshield. As normal, there's also one across the engine bay on the firewall. But you have your VIN number up here. Quick correction, this is a 2001 model, not a 2003, as I said earlier. Moving down, we have our applied model. This is a BH chassis. Those of you that do not know Subaru chassis codes or not familiar with them, this is where you get that from. It's the first two, well actually the first three. The third is the notion of the engine normally. The second, the configuration of the body, and the first, the chassis. So this is a BHE. So the B denotes that it's a Legacy / Outback chassis. If that was an S, that would be a Forester chassis. And if it was a G, it would be an Impreza chassis. The H here denotes that this is a wagon. If it was a sedan, it would be an E. And then the E here denotes the engine. Then we have our option code. I'm not exactly sure what option code. I've never found an option code decoder, so I'm not sure what the U1EW is for the option code. Anyone that knows or has a link to a decoder for the option codes on Subarus, please let me know. Leave a comment below. Real curious on that. Over here we have our trim code and our color code. So color code and trim code, if, as I said, you get in a wreck or you have to order touch-up paint, your main paint color is going to be the color code, in this case, HK4, and your trim code is 040. This being an Outback and being two-tone, the tannish gold bottom color code is the 040, and the top green is 8K4. Then we go over here, we have engine and transmission type, more valuable information. A lot of you have also asked in previous videos and, in the comments, how in the world do I keep the engine codes apart? How do I differentiate what's what? I will do a video later on talking about Subaru engine codes, because I do lose a lot of people when I talk about an EJ251 or EJ253 or EJ255 or EJ257 or EZ30D or EZ36D or EG33 or ER27 or EA81. It just goes on and on and on. But they're fairly easy to keep track of. But in this case, we have engine type EZ30D, which is the 3-liter H6 engine, this being the first generation of which in this 2001 Outback. Below that, we've got our transmission type, and this is a TV1. TV1 denotes that this is a 4EAT, 4-speed automatic transmission. The V denotes that that is the 6-cylinder version of the it is the H6 version of the 4-speed 4EAT transmission. If this was a 2.5, that would be a TZ1 or TZ2 for the 2.5-liter version of the 4EAT transmission. So, really useful information here for you as an owner. Also very useful information if, say, you're in a pull-apart or a junkyard looking for parts or looking for, an engine or transmission. you can quickly pop the hood and find the placard here and know what engine's in here, what transmission. You get more specific when you pull the whole code, but mainly the first 3 is what you're looking for on the transmission code, and the first 4 to 6 on the engine codes. So real quick with the engine code, I'll tell you on this EZ just denotes that it is a 6-cylinder variant. The 30 denotes it's a 3-liter displacement, and the D, as far as I know, means naturally aspirated. It's technically not naturally aspirated, being a D because the NA 22s and 25s do not end with a D. They end in E, and they end in other numbers. So I'm not exactly sure what the D is supposed to stand for in this equation. Specifically on the engine codes, when they end in a 7 is supposed to denote an STI engine. But we'll get into that more in the actual engine video. We're getting a little bit too much into it just talking about these ID placards. So from here, we're going to go look at several other vehicles in the collection here and just show you some different codes to be found on these cards, and also show you the new cards on the 2010 and newer models, because they're no longer here on the strut tower. On the modern vehicles, they have migrated over to the passenger side door jamb, or the driver's side door jamb if you're in the UK or Japan or basically anywhere with the US. All right, moving on, this is a 2002 Model Outback. This is a BH9. The 9 in this case denotes as a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated. Here we see the trim code 040, again being an Outback and two-toned. The 040 denotes the bottom goldish color, and the 8X7 is our seafoam green teal color. Option number is U1RA. The other one is U1EW, if I recall correctly. Here we have the engine code of EJ251, which is a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated single overhead cam engine. And we have a TY7. TY7 denotes that this is a 5-speed manual transmission. So as I said before, the TZs and the TV are the 4EAT 4-speed automatic, but most of the TYs are going to be your 5MT manual transmission. There's lots of other codes for the manual transmissions. I don't have the chart handy with me, but these codes will also tell you gear ratios. They will tell you final drive gear ratio. They will tell you if it's a regular 5-speed for like this Outback, or if it's a WRX transmission. You can find a transmission code decoder online. There's several out there. I should probably actually pull one up on the phone while I'm filming this so I can fill you guys in as well. All right, so moving on here, we've got a 2005 model year Forester. As we see here with the model code, we have an SG9. As I said before, S denotes that it's a Forester chassis. Trim code, paint code as normal. Engine code here is an EJ253, which is the later single overhead cam 2.5 naturally aspirated. And again, we have a TY7 5-speed manual transmission for the transmission code. Moving on again, here we have one of the oldest Subarus I've got, 92 Legacy Sedan. As we see from the model, that's a BC chassis, B being a Legacy, C being that it's a sedan. Same paint code, trim codes here. For the engine code, we've got an EJ22E. That is a naturally aspirated 2.2 liter single overhead cam. One of the best Subaru engines ever made. And for transmission, we have again a TZ1, which denotes a 4EAT transmission. Moving on again in another short order, we've got a 2004 Outback here. This is a BH9 chassis. Again, B being a Legacy Outback chassis, H being a wagon. The same trim and paint codes. This one has an EJ251 and a TZ1, so a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated single overhead cam engine and a 4EAT automatic 4-speed transmission. All right, now for something a little bit newer. This is a 2005 Legacy GT. Chassis is a BL9. B again denoting that it's an Outback Legacy, and L being a sedan, 4th generation. From there, we've got engine code EJ255. EJ255 denotes this is a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And a new transmission code we've not seen yet, TG5. TG5 is the transmission code for the 5EAT 5-speed automatic transmission. If you have a 5EAT, you will have either a TG5C or TG5D transmission code to start. And now on to the oddball of the collection, my 96 Subaru SVX LSI. So again, same layout, engine type now we've got an EG33D, which is the 3.3 liter flat 6. I can only assume the D is the end for any 6-cylinder engine that's naturally aspirated, which they all were. And down to the transmission code, we have a TZ1. Again, earlier we thought that the TZ1 was the 4-cylinder version of the 4-speed automatic. That's why the SVXs all suffered from automatic transmission failure, because they used the 4EAT designed for the 2 liter and 2.2 liter with the big old honking 3.3 liter H6, and it just couldn't cope with the power. And last but not least, we'll take a look at the most modern Subaru I currently own, my 2013 Crosstrek. As you see, it's no longer a metal placard, it's now a sticker. It's now in the passenger side door jamb, or the right hand side door jamb, instead of on the strut tower. But basically we've got everything the same. Applied model, we've got a GP7, as again G denotes an Impreza / now Crosstrek chassis. We've got the engine type, which is an FB20B, which is the 2 liter naturally aspirated H6 engine. We've got the trim code, we've got the color code, option code, and on to transmission type, we see it is TR580. TR580 meaning that it is one of Subaru's CVTs. You either have a TR580 or a TR690. All right, and that does it for this quick video on reading your vehicle identification tag and helping you get the information you need for your Subaru vehicle. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.